Okay, so I'm gonna get my hair out of my face. That's the best way to do it. I always just clip it up and out of the way. Okay, so for primer, I'm going in with the Too Faced Hangover RX. I've been using this non-stop, and I like a good hydrating primer with a foundation that I know already lasts a pretty long time, and that is more full coverage. I just kind of like to combat, I know my skin's going to be dry, so, and I know that can tend to, full coverage foundations tend to dry my skin out. So we're gonna go in with something hydrating and feels really nourishing. Okay, for a little bit of an added glow for my skin, I am going to go in with this Burberry Fresh Glow. It's a luminous fluid base in the shade Nude Radiance 01. I got this as a sample and it's amazing. It's super subtle. It's not like some huge luminizer that makes your skin like super glowy or glittery or whatever. It's just very subtle, and I really love mixing this in with my foundation. So that's kind of what it looks like, and I just take a little bit, just a couple dots there, just to kind of add a little bit of glow to the skin. Okay, for foundation, I'm going in with the Revlon Color Stay Whipped. This is my favorite kind of fuller coverage, matte-ish foundation. I don't know if it's like super matte. It's not as matte as other foundations. So I'm just going to dot that all over my skin. So I'm going to talk while I look crazy, but I feel that if I'm going to wear a more full coverage foundation, I like something that has a more whipped or like moussey texture. I feel like it lays on my skin nicer, it doesn't cling to dry patches as much, and it just lasts and looks better on my skin, especially because I have pretty dry skin. And then the other thing I always do is I always blend it out with a beauty blender or a Real Technique sponge, some kind of beauty sponge. It helps, it shears it out a little bit, but it also just kind of adds a little bit of hydration from this. I always have this wet too, I never use it dry. The concealer that I'm going in with today is kind of a shocker. It is the Amazing Cosmetics Amazing Concealer. I have been trying this out for a while now, and whenever I want like a super full coverage look, this definitely is my go-to. I also really like the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer. I do like that one. It's a lot, it's actually a little more lightweight than this, but this one, it looks really nice, and this stuff covers. You need the tiniest amount. Like, this tube will last me a lifetime. I will never run out of this because you need just the tiniest dot for both under eyes. So I'm in the shade Fair. It comes in a nice squeezy tube. Oh, that's even too much. Okay, so that's how much I have. I literally, it's not that much, and then I always go between the two fingers. As you can see, it's pretty tacky, which normally tacky concealers do not work for me. This one works really nicely. It's actually pretty hydrating on my under eyes. So I'm just going to, I always start in the inner corner and kind of tap it on the outside. Look how full coverage that is. I mean, I literally have like the tiniest dot. Okay, so I always like to kind of tap it out a little bit before I go in with the Beauty Blender, because it kind of just, it shears it out just a teensy bit. So then I'm going to go in with my handy dandy Beauty Blender and just really pat this out. I'll even bring some up on the lids there. Whenever I do concealer, especially lately, I have been really trying to focus like right in here, because that's where I get the most darkness. I like it on my under eyes to just kind of smooth out and brighten everything. I don't really have like major dark circles under here, but it just kind of brightens everything up and makes me look a little more awake. Okay, for dry skin, I know I am with you. Setting your under eyes or setting your skin is just like scary, and I totally get it. But when you go full coverage like this, and especially with your concealer, I feel like it's necessary. Like, you have to set your under eye for it to just last better, look better, not crepe up, not cling onto dry patches. It just really helps. So I'm actually going in with the Laura Mercier Secret Brightening Powder for my under eye concealer, and then we're going to set my face. So whenever I do powder, there's always a bunch of powder like right on the top. So what I do is I just take my little setting brush here and I just tap it in, and I'll just get a little bit. And then I always take it in the cap and just kind of swish it around to kind of like spread and disperse the product on the brush. So it's not like concentrated on like a little part of the brush, you know what I mean? So I kind of just like smush it in there and then I go in. It gives me a lighter hand instead of like packing my brush in a bunch of powder and just coating it. And it just lays it down so much better, and it doesn't dry my under eyes out or cake up or look weird. It looks so much better whenever I do that. Okay, I am going to set my face today. I have been really liking this powder in particular because it has a little bit more of a glow, and I like glowy looking skin, but I do like full coverage too. So this is the Laura Mercier Candle Glow Sheer Perfecting Powder, and it is a more sheer powder, so it's going to set my skin, but it also has a really beautiful luminosity to it, so it's going to give a little more glow back to my skin. And I'm using this new brush. It's new to me. It's the Eco Tools Full Powder Brush. So I'm just gonna set my makeup with that. Okay, so that's pretty much my full coverage face routine. Like I said, I like a full coverage look once in a while, and lately I've been really liking it for some reason, even though my skin's pretty good right now. But I like to kind of, with my dry skin, I like to kind of sandwich those kind of drying products on my skin with something that's hydrating and something that's kind of more luminous. So I think that helps a little bit, kind of make my skin last, gives me that full coverage, but also doesn't look super like flat and cakey as well. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and do the rest of my makeup, and I will be back to show you guys what my skin looks like with other makeup on. Okay guys, so this is the final look with all my makeup on. I really love this. I absolutely love this full coverage routine. It works for my skin, it works for me throughout the day. It doesn't break up, because that's the worst, when you have like a really good full coverage look and it just breaks up throughout the day. That is literally the worst. So this is a routine I can rely on for that full coverage look. I absolutely love this concealer, the Amazing Cosmetics Amazing Concealer. It is so good. I just can't believe how good it looks on my under eyes. It's super brightening too. So I love it, and I also really love their Line Smoother Primer. It is amazing. I didn't use it in this video, but I just kind of wanted to quickly mention it. It has these like, it's like a squeezy tube, but then it has these three little like metal roller balls, and you just kind of like glide it, and it literally just makes like your under eyes and even like fine lines anywhere you have, it just smooths them out so nicely. I love this. And Amazing Cosmetics actually gave me a discount code, so if you guys want to purchase either one of these, definitely check it out below. I will have it linked below for you guys. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Give it a thumbs up if you liked it, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!